Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I hope you'll stick around to see our homeschool journey. My name is Jamie. I'm a homeschool mama of 3 boys. They are aged 7, 6, and 14 months old. I'm a former public school educator. I taught grades kindergarten, 2nd, and 3rd before I decided to stay home and homeschool my boys. Next year I have a child going to tot school. I have a 6-year-old who's going to be going to 1st grade, and then my 7-year-old will be going to 2nd grade. I have already done a curriculum overview of all the curriculum that I will use next year, and I will link that in the description box below, and I'll add a card up here. In this video I want to share with you the curriculum that I'm going to use for the upcoming school year. I will be using this for my 1st grader and my 2nd grader. The curriculum that I chose to use for both of them is spectrum writing. I used it for grade 1 and grade 2. In this video I'm going to give you a flip through of the writing books. I'm also going to show you some extra activities that I'm going to be doing with my kiddos, and I'm going to show you how I would use this every week. This is the spectrum writing. I ripped it out of the book, and then I just glued this to the front of one of these little dividers. I put the table of contents in here for my 1st grader. They do a section on writing basics, writing a story, writing to inform, writing an opinion, and it would just begin with chapter 1, name things, lesson 1. The way that I'm going to use this next year is this would be like Monday. You can see it's really simple, and I would do the whole lesson on Monday. And then I would ask him to read his sentences. And here I would use this time to talk to my child about the beginning of a sentence always has a capital letter. And it also shows the punctuation, which is very hard to see, but it's there. And then for Tuesday, we would go on to how you would feel. And we would write in our feeling words and talk about how you could add that to a sentence. And here would be, the boy is, whatever he's doing. The boy is tired because he did not sleep. This girl is excited because she sees her favorite toy or favorite uncle. Whatever you want to fill it out, but that would be like Tuesday. Wednesday, tell how it looks. And this would use those adjective and those describing words. Lesson 4, which would be Thursday, describe it. Describe it. And then lesson on that Friday, we would end with this, which is more describing words. And then we would start lesson 5 the next week. So lesson 5 would be, what is a sentence? And it would go forth. Now, as you go through the writing basics, after you get through the writing basics, you start another section. Which starts here, chapter 2. And after every section, there is a little quiz, and I would give him this quiz. So chapter 2 starts how to write a story, and it's really simple beginning of how to write a story. First, we know that stories must go in a certain order. So this is where you would talk about sequencing. More sequencing. And then it has you writing the story. So you would use this to write a story. Then you would draw your own pictures and write a story. This one's telling about a place that you went to. Your favorite place. It just helps you learn how to write a story. And it just breaks it down very slowly for you. And what we would do is, like this one says, tell what you saw. So this would be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then you can see this is a new lesson. So we would stop there. This is a 4-day week lesson, and a lot of them are like that. This one right here says, tell about a place. Lesson 3, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, before it goes on to the next one. So most of the writing, when he gets to the actual writing portion, is only 4 days a week. That 5th day, I have different activities for him, and I'm going to actually show you all the little resources that I have bought that I'm going to use with him for that day. So we will only have writing in this book 4 days out of the week, and then one day he will be doing some type of writing activity, and I'm going to show you those resources when I'm finished with these books. Same thing with my second grader. Again, he wanted binders, so I just put his in a binder, but I just ripped all the pages out of Spectrum Writing. His starts with writing a story, writing to inform, and writing an opinion piece. So his would start with writing lesson 1, what is happening. So you can see lesson 1 is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then he's actually, that one's only 3 days long, so 2 days out of that week he won't have spelling and he won't have writing and he'll have to do something else. Lesson 2 is I feel. So Monday, Tuesday. I'll probably use your 5 senses with that one because it's short. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Use describing words. Again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then he would have 2 days. Lesson 5, describe it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I would just go into lesson 6. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So some weeks he would have 5 days worth of this work, and some weeks he would have 4. But one day out of the week I do want to play those games with him or do something else. So we'll have to see how this works out, because I only want him doing this book 4 days out of the week, and then on that 5th day I want him to be doing some fun activities. So sometimes we might not finish the lesson in that week maybe. That's something that once we start this curriculum I can kind of see what I want to do. Because like I said, some of them have 3 days, some have 2 days, some have 4 days. So we'll have to see. But I know that I'm planning only doing writing in the book, writing 4 days out of the 5 days, and then that last day of the week, they're going to get to do something fun with writing. So my kids will do writing 4 days out of the week, and then 1 day out of the week, they'll do something fun for writing. And I'll probably make that Fridays, but I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll make it a Wednesday, so it's like a pick-me-up in the middle of the week. I'm going to show you some of the resources that I have purchased for this. I actually found this at a consignment sale. It's called Silly Sentences. And this is mainly for my first grader. And I was going to show you some of the cards inside of it. The whole point of this is it will make just silly sentences, and it teaches them like having the different parts of a sentence. So they're colored different colors because you have to have different parts of the sentence. So he would pull out what he would need, and he says, and it has your punctuation, which I also like. So it's really nice that it has it all separated out for you. And then he would just pull out his puzzle. So he would say the, and then it fits in here, the frog. So he would have the frog jumped, and he could just make a silly sentence. The frog jumped on the hat. And this teaches him to make funny sentences. And then he would just put a period at the end of that sentence. So I really liked this because I thought it would just be a fun way for him to make silly sentences, and it teaches him the way a sentence should be written. That a sentence must have a subject, a noun. A sentence must have punctuation at the end. A sentence must have some type of verb. And this says ages 4 to 7. And like I said, I'm going to mainly let my 6-year-old do it, but my 7-year-old might do this game as well sometimes. The next one is very similar. It's called Silly Sentences as well. I actually found this at the Target dollar spot. And it was like one of the $3 games at the Target dollar spot. And again, I mainly got this one because I was thinking about my kindergartner at the time, my first grader. Now, and we never actually played this. I bought this a while back. But it's again the same way. You have little pieces, and they say on the back a noun. So this one's really nice because it tells you the nouns. And the nouns are in pink. So what I would do is I would put all the pink pieces in a bag. And I'll say, okay, pick out one noun. So he would pick out a noun. The pizza. So his story is going to be about a pizza. And then it tells you an adjective. So I could say, pick out one, and he would pick it out, and he'd say sleepy. Okay, the sleepy pizza. Okay, and then here it has uppercase or lowercase article. So he could pull this and he would know an uppercase would be at the beginning of the sentence. The sleepy pizza. And then here's some verbs and conjunctions. The sleepy pizza chased a, more adjectives. There's your punctuation. Here's another noun. So the sleepy pizza chased a monster. And then here's a verb preposition together. Climb through, jumped over. And this just helps him make different sentences. And this one even gives you a guide to follow. So it'd say, for example, you would need an article, an adjective, a noun, a verb, an article or pronoun, and a punctuation. So it just tells you the different ways that you can make sentences. And this game says 5+. Another thing that I bought them, and I bought this at a sale, that it was a store that was going out of sale, and they were having like a 90% off teacher store. So I bought these, and they're story starters. And these would be a little hard, I feel like, for my first grader, at least at the beginning of the year. But these would be great for my second grader, and I feel like these would be great also for an older grade, 3rd, 4th. These are called, choose one, they're called research. So this would be like a story starter where he's got to do some research. It says choose one famous historical event, create a museum or display that gives facts about this event. Include what happened, who participated, what happened, and why the event was important. So this would be like an activity. If we were going to do this card, it would take multiple weeks. Like I would show him this card and I would say, okay, you're going to get to work on this every Friday for 3 weeks. And then at the end of 3 weeks, I want to see what you've done. So this would be more like a research project over a long period of time. But that one extra day out of the week, I would give him to let him work on this. Another thing I bought, and I got these at the Target dollar spot as well, and I think I bought 3 of these, but I could only find 2 to show you in the video today. They say, let's chat imagination. Again, ages 6+. It's a really big box for these little cards in it. So the card, you would just pull it out, and it says, if you wrote a book, what would it be about? So this would be something he would just do in a journal. I'm just going to give him a journal. Him and his brother are both going to get a journal, and this would be, on this day, they would just journal write. Another question it says is, if you won a grand prize of $1,000, how would you use it? So I just want this to be like fun little journal prompts. This is the imagination one. I also bought one that was stories. It says, I was in the park and a dinosaur walked by. I woke up one morning and everything was upside down. It was the biggest pizza we had ever seen. So they'll take that card and they'll try to create a story about that card. The next thing I have is story sparklers. This is ages 8+. I do think my 7-year-old could do this. I do not feel that these would be appropriate for my first grader next year, who is 6. An example of these are, and I love these cards. I use these cards when I taught public school. They were my favorite cards. I used them when I taught 3rd grade. So you would just pull a card out and it has a picture on it. Okay. On the back it says quick sparks. And one of them says, write a title to go to this picture. The other part says you can write a paragraph to go with the picture. And it gives you some beginning, like, I just need to get Fido safely to blank. Pets were left behind when blank. My clothes are wet and cold, but I don't care because... And then over on the other side, they have thoughts. And these would get you to write a little bit more. And these would be for older kids, not so much my 2nd grader. These are called thought sparkers. They say, explain how people can prepare for natural disasters such as floods, hurricanes, tsunamis, tornadoes, and earthquakes. Suppose the dog the man is carrying is his pet. Write about how he is feeling about rescuing him. And there's a lot of cards in here, and some of them are like that, and some of them are really, really funny cards. Like the flamingos in the bathroom. And again, they also have the title where you write a little paragraph, or the ones that make you think more. The one on here for thinking is, have you ever spent a day at the zoo? Of all the animals you saw, which did you like best and why? And see, some of these might be appropriate for my 6-year-old, but some of them might be a little harder for him. The last thing is, this is definitely only for my kindergartner. Sorry, I keep calling him a kindergartner, but we're done with school. He was a kindergartner. He's going to be going to first. These are called Ready to Write Prompt Box for grades K1. And this is definitely perfect for my first grader. Okay. And it comes with a little thing to hold up a prompt. And then it has different prompts. So we'll just put one out. Let's do narrative writing. So I will pull this out, and it's like the first day of school. And it says, on the first day of school, I blank. Then I blank in my seat. So it already gives him a sentence. He's going to have to rewrite the sentence and fill in the words. This kind of just helps kids in the very beginning learn how to write. They struggle with writing in the beginning. So this kind of gives them a guideline to go by. Another one in here would be, I like to draw blank. I use blank. My favorite thing about drawing is blank. And then they give you a word bank at the bottom. So you could say, I like to draw animals. I use markers. My favorite thing about drawing is making pictures or is coloring. So they have a narrative writing, informative, and then they have an opinion piece as well. And I'll show you an example of that. So here's it. It says opinion. Chores. The chores I do not like is blank because blank. So in here it gives you an example of some chores. Like the chore I do not like is making my bed because it is hard, or because I'm just going to mess it up again anyways. I feel like that might be an answer that my son would say. And they do get harder. The harder the number is, so that was like a number 10. Well, this is a number 20. You can see it has more blanks and it has a bigger word bank. So they just vary in how hard they are. But I think this is great, and I will definitely be using this a lot with my first grader. So my plans for next year is 4 days a week they'll work in their spectrum writing book, and then on that 5th day, or day 5 of the school, it might not be actually on that 5th day, they might do this on the 3rd day, but 1 day out of a week they will get to do writing games and activities, because I want them to find writing fun. I don't want it just to be a worksheet after worksheet or a workbook after workbook. I want them to have fun with it. So I'm hoping these games and these activities will help with that. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Hit subscribe to watch more homeschool videos. Thanks.